Here we're going to have some special guests throughout the day, as I've mentioned. And, of course, it is Election Day. It is Judgment Day. I've been getting into it with people today. I got to be honest with you. Before even I decided to go on the air, I've been texting people. I've been duking it out with people. I was just having a conversation with Daniel Negreanu, the professional poker player. I do want to start the show off today by sharing a story with you. So I had a conversation with a female friend of mine. She's a huge, staunch Donald Trump supporter, right? And I asked her, because she was on her way to the polling booth, and I asked her, why are you voting for Donald Trump? You know, why? Why are you voting for Donald Trump? And she said, well, because of policy. Now, like most Trump supporters, she couldn't name me any policies. She just blamed illegals for all of her problems, right? And I asked her a question because I think it's a very serious question to ask somebody, because usually it's where the conversation can either continue or it ends. And I said to her, what if there was a video of Donald Trump molesting a child? Would you still support him? Because at that point, you need to see if they're just a cultist or maybe the conversation continues. She looks at me, and by the way, she has a family. And she looks at me. She has kids, and she says to me, I would still vote for Trump. And I said, whoa, wait a second. If Trump raped a child, you would still vote for him? How can you say that? And she looks at me and she goes, yep, because I like his policies. Folks, that's where the conversation ends. I'm happy to have conversations with people that have disagreements when it comes to policy. I'm happy to have conversations with people that can be on some intelligent level, right? Some logical level, but I can't have a conversation with somebody that would vote for a child molester. By the way, Donald Trump is an adjudicated rapist, and he's a 34-count felon, so it's not too far from the truth anyway. But some of these Trumpers out there, they're such cultists. Let's hope we can put an end to it today. I want to tell all of you that, you know, this show is dedicated to all of you. It is every day, really. But we're going to be taking a lot of phone calls today. In these 2 hours, we're going to be taking a lot of calls. And then we're going to take a 2-hour break, and then we're going to come back on the same platforms. Wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, we're going to be on those same platforms from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to take a lot of calls. As I mentioned, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you guys from the polling, from the place where you're going to be voting. Maybe you just voted. I want you to call me. I want to know who you voted for. I want to know why. Maybe you're on your way to vote. Maybe you're a first-time voter. Maybe you're a MAGA supporter. I'm going to want to hear from you guys coming up here in just a little bit. But for those of you that might be listening and you're still undecided at this hour late in the game, you still don't know who you're voting for. Or if you're somebody that has already voted for Donald Trump, I just want to remind all of you who Donald Trump is. So I want to send this message first to my right-wing evangelical friends who might have voted for Donald Trump today. Here's Donald Trump talking about the Bible.
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
He doesn't want to get into specifics because he's never read the Bible. He's a liar. So for you right-wing evangelicals out there who voted for Donald Trump today, you're all a bunch of idiots. You're an idiot. This is a guy who's never read the Bible before. He doesn't even know one verse. He can't even recite one verse. And he's said this over and over again. Oh, I don't want to talk about the Bible. You know, it's very special to me, but it's very personal. I don't want to talk about it because he's never read the Bible. But yet he's allowed China to make Bibles for him for $3 and to be selling them for $60. All right, so for those of you that think Donald Trump isn't out for himself, for those of you that think Donald Trump is out for the American people, that he puts America before himself, I just want to remind all of you, this is for all of you out there that think that Donald Trump is out for you and he cares about the American people. This is a little montage of Donald Trump swindling and Donald Trump with the various scams, grifting products over the years. Have a listen to this.
Part of this, God bless the USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart.
Enjoy steaks of this quality
Oh, yeah, Trump
in one
steak.
of my resort restaurants
Delicious.
or America's finest steakhouses. But now that's changed. Today, through the sharper image, you can enjoy the world's greatest steaks in your own home with family, friends, any. So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Melania hasn't slept on any of these mattresses.
Again.
My new game is Trump, the game. Trump, the game where you deal for everything you ever wanted to own. Because it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether you win. Yes! Play Trump, the game from Milton Bradley.
I think you'll like it.
Vodka, and I'm very proud of the fact, actually, that I don't drink, but it's a vodka that people really like, and as you know, it's taken off like crazy.
I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. We have like 5 minutes of this stuff. I can't take it. I'm done. No, I can't take it.
Keep going.
Can't take it.
Keep going.
Nope, I can't take it.
Keep going.
No more. Anyway, I can play you more. I'm not going to. These are Donald Trump's scams, selling Bibles, selling steaks, selling water, selling trading cards, selling patches of his jacket when he had to turn himself in. I mean, you name it. So for those of you out there that think Donald Trump puts America first, you're an idiot. And for you people out there that claim to have family values, right? You hear that all the time within the Republican Party, right? Family values. The nuclear family. You hear that from J.D. Vance every day. Family. Well, here's a little bit of Donald Trump talking about his daughter on the Howard Stern show and pageants. Have a listen to this. If you're talking about family values, listen to this.
Your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, I go out with somebody, and she's like 21, and she's talking about, what are you doing? And she's studying algebra. And,
So what?
And it's like, it was always embarrassing for me to walk in. It's too young. 30's like a perfect age.
Absolutely. She has enough life experience.
Until she's 35.
Yeah. Well, that's too much life experience.
Yeah, 35. What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
And you're probably, I would say, the greatest judge of beauty on this planet. In fact, I would create a TV show for you where all you did was just judge women.
Now, that may be the best idea of all.
It's a simple thing. It's a half hour, and we strip it out all over the country.
I would say I'm the all-time judge.
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls and stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well, I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
you're like
everything
a
is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with it.
Yeah, he sort of gets away with it, bragging about it. So let me be clear. If you claim that you have a moral compass and you call yourself a family man, a family woman, a family person, and you claim to have family values and you voted for Donald Trump, yeah, you guessed it. You're an idiot. So what is the final message that Donald Trump is sharing with America in his last rally before Election Day today? Well, Donald Trump is making the case that he wishes that Mike Tyson would get in the ring with Kamala Harris. Folks, I'm not making this up. Have a listen.
Mike's been through a lot, but he could fight. Let me tell you, that guy could fight. But can you imagine Mike? Oh, he says, put Mike in the ring with Kamala. That would be interesting.
That's a great final message, isn't it? I thought Republicans were against men that were born men competing with women, but I guess it's okay as long as a former professional fighter gets in the ring with Kamala Harris and punches her. That's really what he's saying. That's who you want to be the leader of the free world. That's one of his final messages, by the way, in his last rally. He's also repeating claims that his campaign was spied on And he brought up the Mueller testimony and saying that he was totally exonerated, which, by the way, he wasn't. This is, again, his final message, playing the victim. Have a listen to this.
He was in the act. They spied on my campaign. It's now proven. Spied on my campaign. The Russia thing with Mueller. You saw Mueller's performance in Congress, right? He didn't know anything. We were totally exonerated.
They were not totally exonerated. If you actually read the report, there were at least 10 instances of obstruction. But again, in his final message to the American people, nothing about positivity, nothing about the future, all about him being the victim and attacking people and saying that he wishes Kamala Harris was in the ring with Mike Tyson, and he's talking about Mueller's testimony. Basically, his entire closing speech was about Kamala Harris. And yesterday, I don't think Kamala Harris mentioned Donald Trump's name once. But again, here goes Donald Trump playing the victim and then going after Kamala Harris with personal insults.
They've already pulled out of a couple of states, states like the word is they pulled out of North Carolina. They cut all their ads. They're using the money someplace else. I even heard they ran out of money. They don't have any money with all the money.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have any money. Kamala Harris doesn't have any money, even though she outraged you tenfold. But yeah, Kamala doesn't have any money. Did you see all of the musicians that were coming out for Kamala yesterday? Everybody came out for her. Right here in Las Vegas, Christina Aguilera performed. All over the country, some of the best musicians that this country has to offer were performing and supporting Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, Donald Trump on a stage yesterday didn't have any big stars supporting him, not even Hulk Hogan or Kid Rock. I don't know where they were yesterday. But Donald Trump, here he is making the excuse about, we don't need stars because he talks about policy. Listen to this.
Just to bring it back into seriousness, we don't need a star because we have policy. We have great policy. We have great policy.
You do? Concepts of policies. What's your health care plan? You've had 9 years to come up with it. What's your policy? Deport 20 million illegals? How are we going to do that? He hasn't really talked about how he's going to do that, has he? What's his policy besides giving the biggest tax breaks for the top 1% in this country? Tell me what Donald Trump's policy is. Oh, well, he's going to close the border. Didn't close the border when he was president. No, really, I'd love to know from you MAGA idiots out there. What's his policy? He never talks about policy. He's got concepts of a plan. He got his ass kicked by Kamala Harris on that debate stage. He's a coward. It's why he did not want to get back there on the debate stage with Kamala Harris, because he was scared and he knows he got his ass kicked. What's his policy besides lying? What's his policy besides sharing his grievances? What's his policy? You tell me. What is his policy? And now we're learning that there have been 3 threats at U.S. polling stations in this country from Russia. Russia, once again, interfering in our elections with bomb threats. Now, you won't hear Donald Trump talk about this. You won't hear somebody like Carrie Lake talk about this. They'll say the Democrats are cheating. We all know who Russia wants and who the Kremlin wants to win this election. I got a hint for you. It's the same guy who gave the Kremlin COVID test kits during COVID. Once again, Russia is interfering in our elections. They interfered in our elections before, and they're doing it again. You won't hear MAGA Republicans complaining about this, though. They'll blame the Democrats for everything. Mark my words on this, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is going to declare victory before all the votes are counted. Donald Trump will probably be declaring victory within several hours from now. He's already talking about election fraud when there's literally no evidence to prove. He's already saying he's going to win in a landslide, and he will declare victory. Even if Kamala Harris wins in a landslide, he will declare victory. The damage that this man has done to this country and the damage he will continue to do to this country, even if he's not elected as president, is insurmountable, and it's going to continue. Kamala Harris didn't even mention his name yesterday. She talked about the future. And for those of you out there that still don't know where she stands on policy, you're an idiot. We know where she stands on abortion. 100% we know where she stands on that. She wants to give the woman a right to choose. By the way, 60% of the country agree with her on that issue, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I think she's going to win. We know where she stands on the border. She wants to get that border bill back into place. And MAGA Republicans say, oh, well, it wasn't a good bill. Well, guess what? MAGA Republicans helped put it together, and Border Patrol endorsed the bill. So they thought it was a good enough bill and a good step forward. So that's a lie. We know where she stands there. We know where she stands on health care, the Affordable Care Act. Donald Trump has concepts of a plan. Republicans have no replacement to Obamacare. We know where she stands on the economy. We know where she stands on taxes. She doesn't want to give the top 1% tax breaks. She wants the rich to pay their fair share. And if you're making under $400,000 a year, your taxes will be somewhere around 28%. She's talked about that. We know where she stands on welfare, maternity leave, food stamps, government programs that can help people that are living paycheck to paycheck. We know where she stands on housing, $25,000 down payment on your first home. We know where she stands on helping people that want to start up small businesses. We know where she stands on basically every issue. Why? Because she talks about it every day. And for MAGA Republicans out there that say, oh, well, I don't know really where she stands on an issue. It's either you're extremely ill-informed and you have no freaking idea what you're talking about, or you're just another moron MAGA Republican that is lying and defending a liable, adjudicated rapist, 34-count felon. It's one or the other. Now, I've given you my opinions. I've given you my prediction. I could be wrong. I do believe Kamala Harris is going to win. I do have concerns. I am worried. I am nervous. If Donald Trump wins, I will go on the air tomorrow and I will do a show tomorrow, and I won't be sitting here crying. I'll certainly be frustrated. I'll certainly be upset, but life will go on. But I hope that doesn't happen. Now, I don't know if we're going to find out who wins today. Probably not. I don't know if we're going to find out who wins tomorrow. Probably not. I think it's going to take a minimum of 3 to 4 days before we really find out for sure who wins this election. I think it's going to be a very close race. I've been saying that for months. This is going to be a very close election.